fellow bipeders. It is me, Chelsea Rose, also known as Lucid Rose, and May is over with. But May was awesome because Mermay, I don't know if you're familiar with Mermay, but for the month of May, various artists on the internet, anybody can join, they just draw and paint mermaids for the entire month. And I participated, of course. And this is my video showing off all my various mermaidy creations for the month of May. And of course I had to dress the part. Here is a fabulous mermaid costume that a friend of mine from work gave me. Apparently her mother made it for her like a long time ago. And now it is mine, so I thought I would dress up for Mermay. About you guys, but I've been obsessed with mermaids since I was a young girl. My family can attest to the fact that I have always drawn strange sea creatures with bare breasts and massive scales and weird noodly necks, and I still draw those things today. So I grew up by the beach in Venice Beach, California, and I've always just had a fascination with the ocean and its mysteries. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was a kid until I realized how much math was involved. But yeah, there's just something fascinating to me about the depths of the oceans and all of the things we haven't really begun to explore. You know, our own ocean is more alien to us than space, which is fascinating. So I do believe in mermaids. I do. And they are a huge inspiration to me in my art and will continue to be inspired by it. So I was super excited when I found out about Mermay. I think it'd been going on for a few years before I really like caught wind of it myself. So this was the first month that the first year that I've actually genuinely participated and tried to do things on a regular for Mermay, and I still fell short. I mean, I kicked Drawloween's ass, but Mermay not so much. Just lots of stuff going on, but I think I got a fair bit of work done, and I hope you enjoy this little tour that shows you those pieces. So here is one of my paintings I did for Mermay. This is a watercolor painting. I actually did the sketch quite a few months ago and never got around to watercoloring it, so Mermay was the perfect excuse to get this one done. I've never done eyeballs in the scales before, so that's something new. And I really love the fro with the planets kind of floating around in them. So yeah, she's available in my Etsy shop still. Check that out. That's lucidopticlab.etsy.com. Another mermaid painting I did was of Frida Kahlo, one of my favorite artists, as a mermaid. So you can kind of see some of the telltale Frida Kahlo-esque features. You know, you have the unibrow, very light unibrow, and a very light mustache, and some long dark braids, and a big anatomical heart that's bleeding, which is something that she did in a lot of her self-portraiture paintings. And then I have a scar that runs across her lower abdomen, representing the bus accident that she was in as a young woman, that created a lot of difficulties through her life, and was represented in a lot of her art. And I made her into a mermaid, and I put some roses around her head, and yeah. What's cool is this ended up actually selling to a man in Mexico, and we were chatting, and I was telling him how much I love Frida and how I want to visit Mexico City so I can go to Frida's house, Casa de Azul, and he was saying he's already been, and it was awesome. So I'm super stoked that it's Frida Kahlo has my little mermaid Frida has swam to Mexico and is it's gonna, you know, it's very happy probably where she is now. It's a good home. So the rest of my Mermay things were drawings. This was the first one. This was my first mermaid drawing. I have a giant mermaid that has appeared out of nowhere, looming above this little Victorian house. And she's dripping and melting, almost like raining mermaid rain onto this Victorian. And for those of you who just watched my sketchbook tour, you might recognize a few of these. This one's one of my favorites for Mermay. I just love this badass warrior mermaid holding a trophy skull, and this cute little chubby mermaid looking, I think, very admiringly at this warrior woman. With, I think she's very impressed with this trophy here. And then I was watching a lot of Anne with an E on Netflix. I thought it was adorable, and so this was kind of inspired by that, kind of a prairie girl dress kind of deal, except mermaid. Yeah. And this is my new sketchbook, and my first sketch was Sushi Mermaid. So yeah, I know this is quite overdone, this concept. There's quite a lot of mermaid sushi drawings and paintings out there, but you know, it was Mermay. I felt like I had an excuse to give it a shot myself. So as you can see, there's a very sad mermaid who is bound to a bit of rice with seaweed on a little sushi dish. This is like wasabi here. And she's kind of dripping. I don't know if that's sauce or blood. And I love these salmon roe, so I just kind of put one there. And teas in there, some teacups. And I put some nice little chopsticks kind of to lead the eye this way. But I love how sad and tender her expression is. She looks very resigned at this point and a bit self-conscious the way she's holding herself. I had fun with her scales and the little drippy bits in the teapot. Look at the little spout that has some little steam bits coming through. And this is Mermaid reverse. And this is my Sailor Moon mermaid. Quite a wacky combo, but I think it ended up working. So for her little meatball head, I put my eyeballs. She's got her crescent moon over her third eye. Got like a Sailor Moon bow, but with one of my eyeballs. So I kept some elements of the Sailor Moon outfit, like the pleated skirt and the gloves and the bow and the hairstyle. And I also put in her moon rod. And I thought I wanted to do something just a little bit different with her tail, so I put 3 crescent-y shaped fins. And yeah, I like it. I like the way how my Sailor Moon mermaid came out. I hope you do too. And this one was inspired by Sheila na gig, which are Celtic symbols of fertility. They're also associated with old Celtic vaginal magic. Some of the Celtic beliefs included certain healing abilities that looking at a vagina or even just the female body nude could create. There's a whole lot of interesting information on that, but there's the Sheila na gig carvings can be seen all throughout various old churches in Ireland and Scotland and places like that, and they are of these women that are just holding open their vaginas, like giant vaginas. So, also, there is a fertility goddess that had that was a two-finned mermaid, and that was something that Starbucks appropriated. And then also with the multiple arms and the dark long hair, this was also a little bit inspired by Callie. you know, the Hindu goddess Kali Mata. And yeah, so just kind of a conglomerate of things that were inspiring me that day. I used some watercolor, black watercolor, to fill in the hair. So that's what this is. All the rest is just my usual ink. So on the very last day of Mermay, I did a acrylic painting that I based off of a pen and ink illustration of a mermaid in a wine glass that I did. So I was actually just painting this for a friend who was retiring. This was her retirement present. I know that she loves purple, and I know that she loves wine. So this is what I painted her. And she really loved it, so I was really excited about that. And you know, I posted the finished results on my various profiles, and people were pretty pleased with it. And, but yeah, I just love the rich purples, and it was fun kind of doing a more dualistic palette, you know, with just a couple colors versus just like all the colors ever. So I thought that, you know, I just had a lot of fun playing with the glowing orbs reflecting off of the mermaid and the cup and everything. So yep, so that's acrylic on a piece of masonite board. Thank you so much for checking out my mermaid video. Much love to all my fellow mermaid and mermen, sisterin and brotherin out there. As I stated, you can collect some of my mermaid treasures in my Etsy shop, which is lucidopticlab.etsy.com. And also all sorts of other things of mine. Original acrylic paintings, prints, buttons, stickers, screen printed shirts, all sorts of stuff. And also check out my Patreon account, which is patreon.com/ChelseaRoseArts, if you are interested in supporting me. As you may or may not know, my Patreon supporters have access to monthly coloring pages that I release exclusively to Patreon supporters. And this month is a mermaid-inspired coloring page of the scale patterns that I draw on every single one of my mermaids. So yes, that's patreon.com/ChelseaRoseArts. Also, don't forget to follow me on my various interwebby accounty things, like Instagram, I'm on there as Lucid Rose, and Facebook fan page is Chelsea Rose Arts, and Twitter is Lucid Rose also. Alright, thank you so much for watching!